Hey guys, welcome to Found Flicks. There's only 2 episodes left in season 1 of The Mist, and there's no turning back now. But at least this late in the season, things are moving at a quicker pace. And this episode does bring Arrowhead back into the picture, as well as featuring one of the best sequences of the whole season with The Mist. So let's look at episode 9, checking out the big mysteries and reveals. Kevin's group, minus Kevin of course, finally make it to the mall, where they decide to lay low. And meanwhile, Gus's lie about Alex killing Lila's mom is already catching up to him, with the people demanding vengeance for what she has supposedly done. And Gus has no choice but to go along with what they want and hunt down Alex, saying they can't have a murderer walking around, even though he knows what really happened. Word then gets to Eve's group about what they're up to, and she decides it's time to go. And when searching for Alex, both come across Adrian. He lies about what happened to Kevin, saying he died protecting him and now he's here to protect them. Yeah, sure, whatever you say, buddy. However, Alex and Eve aren't wise to his made-up story, and by his speech, hook, line, and sinker. The mall mob soon finds them and demands they give them Alex. They also accuse her of killing Jay too, as he is also missing, but Eve knows Jay isn't dead. She's been keeping him locked up like a prisoner. She's forced to reveal the truth to help Alex and show everyone what she's been doing to Jay. Now, this is probably the worst storyline in the entire show. Eve has just plainly hated Jay the whole season, believing he hurt Alex. It must be designed to be Eve's sin in the scheme of things. Her unwillingness to give Jay a chance for forgiveness. Since, she's been a total biatch to an innocent kid this whole time and just locked him up in a closet. And she pushes Alex away as well, and all that she can ask her mom after they find Jay is why. Good question, Alex. Really good question. This seems to have diffused the situation temporarily with the mall mob, but no doubt they'll soon be going after Alex once more. I'm sure the truth will come out about Gus actually killing Lila's mom, and he will be the one tossed out in the mist this time. Mia and Jonah have been trying to avoid the other mall survivors and stay out of their drama, but when Jonah searches one store, the remaining Arrowhead soldier Wes catches sight of Jonah and recognizes him. He approaches him, asking him what he's doing here, and Jonah explains that he is only looking for supplies. Wes obviously recognizes him and realizes that Jonah doesn't know who he is. He wishes Jonah good luck, then attacks him, strangling him unconscious. Though it doesn't really make a lot of sense with what we see next. Jonah wakes up tied to a chair and Wes continues to question him. He still isn't able to answer, not knowing his past. Wes says the captain won't be happy to hear that, and Jonah asks if he knows him. He does, he says, saying, "Just happy you're safe, sir," and salutes Jonah. So Jonah is Wes's superior in the army, and it turns out Jonah is definitely involved in Project Arrowhead in a high capacity, as I had suspected a while back. I still think he wiped his own memory on purpose in an attempt to avoid responsibility for something he did wrong. And while Wes says they have to get back to Arrowhead, I don't think we will see that anytime soon. I feel the key will be to unlock Jonah's memory via the same kinds of keywords that the female doctor was seen using on him. He would regain his memory in the process and reveal his part in this whole thing. That very sin he was trying to suppress in the first place, which he now will have to confront. Then maybe we will also at least get a little more development on where Arrowhead fits into the big picture. What's interesting to me at this point in the show is that there are actually very few without sin amongst all the survivors. And even Mrs. Raven, who was proven right about Mother Nature being the mist, suddenly has gone way over the edge. It's like, okay, cool, you were right, but you don't have to be such a thang about it. She, along with the sheriff and 2 other people apparently named Trevor and Ursula, are heading to the mall via an intricate sewer system built underneath the town. As Trevor reaches the top of a ladder, he is startled by a rat, which he literally just happened to mention he was afraid of, and falls off the ladder, obliterating his leg in the fall with the bone jutting out. But rather than try to help them, Raven says Trevor's journey ends here, and starts going on about how gazelles leave the wounded behind so the herd can continue. To her, Trevor falling off the ladder was part of Mother Nature's grand design, but it seems pretty harsh to not even be willing to help an injured man. And Ursula, I guess his wife, starts freaking out and naturally wants to find a way to help him climbing down the ladder. Connor leans down, telling her it's okay and to be with her husband, then stabs her with a knife. Raven and Connor leave the 2 to die, closing the door with them screaming for help as rats start to climb over their bodies. And later, Connor isn't so sure about what he did, but Raven reassures him it's what needed to be done and she, Mother Nature, won't forget your sacrifice. She then picks up a sewer rat and starts kissing on it, telling Connor to feel its love. So yeah, Raven and Connor have both gone completely Fruit Loops. Raven is so self-righteous now that to her she can do no wrong, but she is incorrect about Alex's attacker, which is the whole reason they are heading to the mall in the first place. And Connor also still believes his son is responsible, but he's so brainwashed by Raven's Mother Nature baloney, he can't even see straight anymore. But despite feeling they are doing the right thing, they are actually not correct. So their actions here are just as bad as anyone else's, and killing the other two here breaks her precious law of nature. At first, these two seem to be a voice of reason, but now it appears they will also be getting judgment soon enough after becoming blinded by thinking they are infallible, operating under these guidelines of Mother Nature. Now let's check on Kevin, who was left for dead after a confrontation with Adrian, who was also revealed to be a murderous lunatic last week and the one who assaulted his daughter. Kevin's not dead, of course, and funnily enough, the guy from the game store, Vic, who was ousted by the mall group and sent into the mist, is the only one who stayed behind, and he discovers Kevin, helping him to a nearby house to recuperate. And once he's feeling better, guess where Kevin wants to go? You got it, the mall! With the mall a mere 2 miles away, he and Vic devise a plan to run the whole way, stopping every few houses to then wait for the mist to dissipate. But they only make it through one round of this before Kevin is put into another life or death situation to react to. In the house, they come across several soldiers' bodies strewn around the room, and Kevin notices an arrowhead patch on one of their uniforms. A crazed man and owner of the house descends the stairs holding a shotgun on them. The situation is quickly resolved when Kev says they aren't with the soldiers, and he asks what happened. The man says the army was everywhere, and he saw what they were doing and what they had done, and everything was on fire. Based on that, it sure sounds like Arrowhead was cleaning up their mess and burning the town to cover up what they had done. We haven't seen any soldiers come down from Arrowhead after the mist, so they must be here for the specific purpose of seeing what effects it had on the town, then taking out any other survivors. But it's also possible that the soldiers were searching for survivors to help them, and this dude just shot them all, since he admits that he doesn't know what is real anymore. And so at this point, it is hard for us to have any more of a clue about what Arrowhead is doing here in town. Kevin goes for a nearby gun, and the man fires in response, but the guy has clearly lost it, saying, "You'll tell them and they'll come for me." During this, Vic sneaks up behind the man and knocks him unconscious with a frying pan. Yep, that happened. They search the bodies, finding keys to the soldier's vehicle, and Kevin goes over to the guy, apologizing for his wife that never came home. The man still obsessively believes that Kevin is going to kill everyone, and Kevin tries to reassure him he won't harm anyone near and dear to him. The man has a foolproof plan to prevent this, revealing a grenade in his hand and removes the pin. Kevin runs just as the grenade goes off and somehow uses one of the soldiers' bodies to shield him from the explosion. However, the blast shatters the windows, letting the mist into the house, quickly filling the room, and we get a pretty cool sequence where Kevin is greeted one by one with incarnations of people he has been involved in the death of. First, there was the officer who was attacked by the cockroaches in the premiere, then his brother Mike, who Kevin killed in Mercy, and then the nutso guy from the hospital that Kevin beat to death with a table leg. The crazy guy, as he was doing in that episode, starts going on about the evil one again, saying he wants to see Kevin, and from the mist, a doppelganger of Kevin emerges wielding the same table leg from the hospital. We have seen this other version of Kevin once before when the doctor doped him up and left him outside the hospital, and it seems to represent the dark side of Kevin, essentially that he could be his own worst enemy. The two attack each other, and Kevin gets the upper hand, beating the shit out of the evil version of himself, who just kind of sits there and takes it. I think the mist is trying to make a point here to Kevin, and he sort of fails the test. We know Kevin wants to destroy Adrian for what he did to his daughter, but this would further feed into that darker part of Kevin, losing more of the good side of himself, and more than likely result in his judgment at the hands of the mist. Since it appears that the specific incident of Alex's assault is what brought the mist here, it makes sense that the final big choice for Kevin in the end will be how he handles the situation with Adrian. If he allows himself to lose control and kill him, he will lose himself in the process. So he must not kill Adrian in order to be saved himself. Hopefully Kevin figures out what to do before it's too late, because that encounter will be happening sooner rather than later. Vic takes the military jeep and they actually make it to the mall, mall, and Kevin goes inside of the mall. I know, oh my god, you guys, Kevin is at the mall! I thought it was the impossible dream for Kevin to ever make it to the mall after literally only trying to do that all season long. But all these other obstacles kept coming up that stopped him from getting there, over and over and over again. At least he's made it to the mall, and we can have Adrian finally exposed for the monster he is. It looks like all the pieces are falling into place for what should hopefully be an exciting finale. Maybe it won't amount to anything too tremendous, but I just want something cool to happen with the Mist. That would be enough for me at this point. Alright guys, that'll do it for my look at episode 9 of The Mist. What did you guys think of the episode? And what are you hoping to see in next week's finale? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, subscribe, and follow. Thanks for watching Found Flicks. See you next time.